Yo, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, as you can see in the title, we're going to be going over the best KVK1 chain of commanders. Yes, you heard me right. I know there's not a lot of chain of commanders, but we're going to get straight into it. Alright, so starting off, we're going to go ahead and put Yulji in the spot with no AoE, self-explanatory. And we're going to go ahead and put Bybars in the OK spot. He's not like the best chainer of the world, but he's not the worst. He does have an AoE, so we could use that. Alright, next up we're going to put Bjorn on the bottom. He has no AoE. And then looking at our next option here is going to be Boudica. She has some good healing, some good direct damage, and she also has the peacekeeping tree. So that's really going to be good for chaining. Alright, and up next we're going to have Chow Chow. Chow Chow is going to be good, first of all, because of his peacekeeping tree. Second of all, because he has a high damage factor, so he's going to be able to do some good DPS. He doesn't really have the best sustain, so you're really going to have to just do some fast chains with him. Up next, who I think is going to be the second best primary slot commander they could use is going to be Charles Martel. Charles Martel is good for two things, really. He has the defense skill talent tree, and then he also has a good amount of tankiness just from his skills that he gets. He's able to get a shield that takes 1400 damage factor, and he's also able to increase his counterattack damage while also buffing infantry. Alright, and next up we got pretty much the second best commander we could be using for chaining, and this is going to be for either you could put her as primary or secondary, and this is going to be Ethelfled for her AoE. She's got a half circular AoE, which is really good for chaining barbs. You don't have to keep running all over the place and losing your chain while you are doing this. She also gets the peacekeeping tree and some bonus damage on some barbarians. Alright, next up we're going to put this little dude down here on the bottom because he's no AoE. And as a possible primary, we also have Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc is going to be good for a couple things. She has her support tree, which is good with the rage regen and taking less skill damage and receiving a lot more healing. And within herself, she also boosts a couple units, archers, infantry, and cavalry. And she also does heal, so she is good for barb chaining, believe it or not. And moving on, we got Julius Caesar next. Get that dude out of here, we don't want him. Alright, next up for the interesting pick is going to be Kira. Pretty much only put her up here for her AoE. You know, she's got an AoE the same size as Sun Tzu, Bybars, so she'll be able to chain as well. And next up is going to be Kusunoki. So Kusunoki, I wouldn't really recommend him as a primary, but as a secondary he is good for his AoE. Has some direct damage factor. Good with archers. If you're an archer main, go ahead and start chaining with Kusunoki from the early game all the way to KVK1. You should be fine. Alright, next up is going to be Lohar. I would say he's the third best on this list as a primary. He has the peacekeeping tree, he heals, he has direct damage factor, and he also heals after the battle, as well as a support tree, so he's a pretty solid pick. We will be skipping Minamoto because it's kind of tailored towards free-to-plays a little bit. Going on to Mulan, she's not terrible. She has some damage reduction and also the barbarian tree. Those are pretty much the only two good things about her. Other than that, I wouldn't say she's too crazy good as a chaining commander. And we already know this guy, the man, the myth, the legend. It's going to be Richard the First, so he's definitely going to be the #1 primary commander you are going to want to be using. He can tank, he could heal, he could do damage reduction, he could do it all. Trust me, you got to use this guy. And next up, you can't go wrong with Sun Tzu. The thing I like about him a little bit more is he has a 5 target AoE, so instead of hitting 3 targets like the rest of these in the pretty good tier, he's able to hit 5, so if you want to chain like a big clump of barbs, that's good. And he also has infantry tree, skill tree, and he could tank a good amount, and also we are definitely going to be saving the best for last. The best for last is going to be YSG, expertise. So YSG, when he's expertise, if you guys don't know, he has a circular AoE. He is one of the only commanders in KVK1 that has a circular AoE. Super beneficial for hitting barbs. You don't have to move around a whole lot, and makes your life a whole lot easier. If he's not expertise, I'd put him pretty much behind Sun Tzu, and yeah, that's YSG, the best chaining commander for KVK1. Shout out to my main supporter who's been here from the start. It's gonna be Warden. I've been meaning to shout him out a lot, but just kept forgetting. Yeah, it's a cool guy, and 3882, love that dude. In terms of pairings, I would kind of look at Richard YSG for your main pairing. If you wanted to do a 2-march, you could do Lohar and Ethelfled. Then after that, you could look at something like Charles Martel and Sun Tzu.